My name is Brian Nylander. I was the design manager for the Challenger exterior.
My name's Jeff Gale. I was lead exterior designer on the Dodge Challenger. The fuel door was an important thing for us. It was, you start to think about what the original cars had and what is a Mopar vehicle and what is Mopar muscle, and think about those things that, people would think about or expect on the vehicle when it came out. The fuel door is one of the things that popped up, and we thought, oh man, what a great opportunity. So we went back, and I actually had a production part on my desk, one of the old fuel doors off one of the old Chargers or Challengers. I think some of them shared a part, the flip top fuel cap. So we looked at that, we looked at the ribbing on it, the detailing and everything, and it's like, well, how can we make this look modern and have it on our Challenger, and have a real signature piece that would set us apart from every other vehicle out there. What is unique to Mopar? What is unique to Challenger? What is unique to the Dodge? So we went back and designed that piece, kind of with a modern flavor. We've got a nice little bevel around it that sets the cap flush into the body. It is a metal cap, it's not plastic, so we wanted something that was authentic, and we got that. We even, right down to the detail in the center of the black area with the fuel lettering in there, it's very, very similar to what the original fuel cap had. So that's something that I'm proud of. And we spent a lot of time working on it to get everything to work right, and have it look right and feel right. Having that metal cap that relates back to that old one so closely, I think, is something that's going to be pretty cool for customers and everybody, enthusiasts and people that will talk about it for years to come.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite details on the car. You look at any other fuel door that's done on a production car right now, and I'm hard pressed to find one that's as cool as that one. I think that's really going to stand out. I think the customers are really going to like it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Jeff mentioned the fuel lettering on there. There's people that aren't going to understand that, but the people that do understand it are the enthusiasts that know what that means. So I think that's kind of a cool little detail that we got to incorporate on the car that I think everyone's pretty excited about. There were some parts in and around the car. Maybe not generally as the overall car, but if you look at the headlamp area, there were some extra pieces that we had to fight for to get the look of the headlamps. You look back at the show car, and the park turn sort of had almost a gun-like barrel look to it with LEDs around. Well, we weren't going to use LEDs in the production car, but we did use a technology and an extra couple pieces to help us get that look with incandescent lighting. So that was something we had to propose to the team, and then obviously bubble up through upper management to get buy-in. And I think in the end everyone realized that, hey, yeah, that was the right thing to do.
The Challenger concept had a taillight on there that had I believe it was a neon tube underneath,
Yep.
and that created a very evenly lit area back behind a frosted surface. In production, that's very expensive to do, and it's hard to execute while still having a low trunk opening so that you can access that space to the trunk. So what we wanted to do was create something that had the look of it, again relating back to what even the 70 did from a theme standpoint, and have it productionizable and still keep the cost of the vehicle down. So what we wound up doing was one, carrying the trunk cut through the tail lamp down lower so that we could keep our lower liftover on the vehicle, so that you can still access the trunk, have a vehicle that you can use every day, and have that access available. The vehicle's got a very large trunk in it. The platform allowed us that, and so you want to have access to that. And then applying the tail lamp graphic to the rear, we just put our black graphic on the trunk as well as around the sides of the vehicle on the quarter panels, and then the tail lamp lives within that, and then we tried to evenly light it through the parabola that's in there, and even the ribbing on the back side of the lens itself, and have that run all the way through. And it creates that graphic that the concept had.
I think retaining the overall look of the tail lamp on the back, that was sort of the edict. We looked at a couple different ways of doing it as far as breaking the tail lamp, perhaps, like Jeff explained with the liftover. Obviously we had to cut right through that tail lamp. So we looked at a couple different opportunities where maybe it wasn't the same graphic that the show car had, but we kept coming back to, this thing needs to be a full width tail lamp back there. Ideally it wants to light up, the entire way across. So we really worked to capture that look. And I think the whole team supported that. They saw the different variations, and all the way through marketing, engineering, product planning, they all understood that now we got to do the show car. That's what's cool. That's what everyone wants. We got to work to get that. Even though we ended up not using neon or LEDs in the tail lamp, we went back to incandescent bulbs, but there's still a lot of work that had to go into maintaining a nice even lighting to those parabolas, then even with the lenses. the fluting in the lenses, and just trying to, you're working within tenths of millimeters, adjusting some of those surfaces, but trying to get a nice, even light spread. You look at some cars at night, and it doesn't look like they took a lot of time to care about what the light pattern would look like when it's lit up. It's not something you typically think about. But because the show car really established sort of this, homogeneous lit zone, we really had to work very hard to get that back using the incandescent technology.